The first guideline I'd like to talk about and elaborate on is guideline number 1, in which it indicates grades are based on and are organized by learning targets. Under this guideline, there are 2 subtopics that I need to address here. The first is grades must be aligned to the learning targets for a course. Each of our courses at Central High School are specifically designed around standards. Therefore, as the teacher puts together their lessons, they must think about what are the standards that lesson is trying to emphasize. What opportunities to learn are they providing their student? In providing a lesson, the teachers must communicate to students the objectives of that lesson so students are clear exactly what is expected of them and how it will be demonstrated that they know and understand the material. The second part of this is an important part is how grades are organized within the grade book. Traditionally, grades have been organized by maybe your topic of the type of assessment, such as maybe organized by homework, by labs if it's a lab-based course, by quizzes and standard exams. However, under a organized grade book, under the new grading system, we want to be able to organize it by buckets, which are called categories within the Infinite Campus gradebook. In other words, when a student or a parent looks at a student's grade, they can see within the whole grade of the course what area of the course is the student doing better in and what areas are they needing to have more work. I'm going to give you an example and show you how a grading gradebook is organized. Here is an example of how a gradebook is organized in a math course. You can see that this teacher has placed 3 categories equaling 100%. The first category is content knowledge. That is asking, does the student understand the main idea of the concept being tested? The second category is applications and modeling. Can they apply that concept in ways to demonstrate that they understand it? So it's not only being able to communicate, do you know it, but how are you able to apply it? And then the third category of this area is procedural knowledge and skills. Can they use the procedures and the general knowledge of that in order to get to the correct answer? When tests in math are given, there are 3 components. So you can see that Chapter 8 test had a content knowledge area. In this case, the student received a 75%. It also contained an area called the applications and modeling. So the student was demonstrating 75% in the content, but in that area only demonstrated a score of 69% for a standard score. And then jumping down, that same test, in terms of procedural knowledge and skills, the student demonstrated 93%. So you can see that depending on what a student needs to do for the various content that you're testing, they can have different areas. And when you have a conversation with a parent, you can be more specific about areas of strengths and areas of weaknesses and where improvement needs to take place. This is much more informative than saying that your students score an average of blank on a test. That's generic and it doesn't help a student understand what they need to know or what they need to improve upon to become better understanding.